Gamers, where are the Hollow Knight OC mask designs? Otterboy wears one based on a giant water beetle, or toad ladder for those unfortunate few, and it is cool as heck. Here's the pros and cons for making OC masks. Pros: the variety of themes, existing and otherwise, are limitless. Artists both new and experienced can easily create them, and they're a great way to Hollow Knightify your already existing OCs. As for the cons, well, you see, I've tricked you, there are no cons. Only those ignorant to mask lore oh. A lot of you don't know mask lore, huh? Well, if I'm gonna start an artistic revolution, I need to show the community their significance. Alright then, what are masks in Hollow Knight? From a gameplay perspective, they act as your total health. Throughout the world, you'll find mask shards, whose description reads,
a shard of an ancient mask, worn to protect oneself from harm. Collect more to strengthen your shell and protect yourself from damage.
As stated, their actual name is Ancient Masks, and they protect you from damage.
A complete mask. When whole, a mask protects its wearer, shielding the true form beneath.
This insinuates the knight wears all its masks at once, which to me is a little weird, but masks weren't animated onto the knight's body, so we can only guess how they're being worn. No matter, they still protect its body from harm. However, this isn't the only purpose they serve. Their capabilities are surprisingly extensive. As we dive deeper into mask lore, I'm sure Team Cherry provided us with cohesive information that interconnects smoothly with the solidified laws of the world. Wait, this is Hollow Knight, what? It's unknown where ancient masks originate from. The word ancient suggests the civilization before Hollow Nest. Otherwise, our next best guess is Mask Maker. Cooped up within a giant sphere at the edge of Deep Nest, this strange bug meticulously sculpts masks of all shapes and sizes, as witnessed in his workshop. Seemingly content with this endless work, Mask Maker happily strikes conversation, providing us with valuable insights on his craft.
Is it a mask or face upon the creature? In Hollow Nest, a difficult thing it can be to decipher. A wonderful thing to have a face, not a thing with which we all are blessed. For this kingdom's faceless, I shall provide.
Turns out, not all bugs are born with a face, making it Mask Maker's job to provide the unfortunate with a substitute. But why?
A mask, a face. Does it need one? Does it not? To define, to focus, to exist.
To define. To define yourself amongst your peers is to possess individuality, personality, a sense of self. In a metaphorical sense, to lack these traits is to lack existence. But who cares about dumb philosophy? What does he mean by to focus? Well, the knight learns exactly how from this King's Past lore tablet.
Higher beings, these words are for you alone. Your great strength marks you amongst us. Focus your soul, and you shall achieve feats of which others can only dream.
Soul is the life essence within bugs. By focusing that soul, the knight can heal its shell. But as for these higher beings, I'm unsure how their focus compares to the knight's. There are other forms of focus throughout Hollow Nest, but the most notable is pure focus, referenced in Record Abba within the Soul Sanctum.
The mind still limits us so. How to break past its constraints, to attain a pure focus. Is it even possible?
And in some capacity, they succeeded, as the scholar's thoughts lament of their minds swelling and aching. I'm unsure if their brains are literally expanding, but metaphorically, this is indeed true, and backed by a lore tablet hidden within the White Palace throne room.
The worm becomes beacon, minds expanded, to yield, to devote.
If you're unfamiliar with overarching Hollow Knight lore, Hollow Nest was founded by a worm who shed its large body and reincarnated into the Pale King. This reincarnation allowed him to become a beacon which provides intelligence to bugs who merely act on instinct, and persisted even after his death. However, any bug who exits Hollow Nest's reach must relinquish the mind provided by the kingdom, and all past memories with it. That's cool, but how's that related to masks? Well, if a pure focus requires a mind without limits, then a limited mind has an impure focus, or average focus. When comparing the traits the beacon and masks provide, this focus Mask Maker refers to must originate from a mask's ability to give its wearer intelligence by expanding their mind. So to summarize, masks provide bugs with a face, expanded mind, and the ability to focus. Whoops, accidentally misclicked. Oh, jeez!
To change a face, to conceal it fully within another. A powerful protection, that is, but one with sad consequence. The original mind is destroyed, though those of striking will may still retain a sliver of that concealed self.
Very interesting. How about your void eyes? No? Just not gonna talk about it? Fine. I'll discuss your quote. For reference, each mask Maker wears easily falls off, so they aren't actively concealing his face. But this dialogue does present an interesting question. What happens when a bug unmasks its true form in Hollownest? Okay, let's think about this. The Pale King's beacon doesn't literally give mind, it just enhances what is already present. But a mask deletes the present mind, so the Pale King's beacon is left with nothing to expand, right? To quote this King's Past lore tablet,
"Within our lands do not hide your true form. Let all bask in your majesty, for only this kingdom could produce one such as you."
True form. Where have I heard that phrase before? Oh, that's right. The ancient mask description.
A complete mask. When whole, a mask protects its wearer, shielding the true form beneath.
There could be other ways to conceal one's true form, but since we only know of one, the Pale King is encouraging bugs to unmask themselves within Hollownest. But if doing so is the equivalent of... Why does this lore tablet insinuate revealing your concealed form is safe? Maskmaker doesn't infer as craft taboo, actually the opposite. So it seems the Pale King allows their use, but encourages otherwise. Assuming it's only coincidence the Fury of the Fallen Charm is right next to this lore tablet, unmasking yourself in Hollownest is safe to do. Which conflicts with the Maskmaker saying the original mind is destroyed. What's the deal? We may have been taking his claim of complete destruction too literally.
The original mind is destroyed, though those of striking will may still retain a sliver of that concealed self.
This line supports the possibility the original mind is simply locked away from use, not deleted from existence. That means the Pale King's beacon unlocks the original mind of the bugs who unmask, countering... I really don't like saying, oh, the expert? Yeah, he's wrong, but I just don't know how these contradictions can be explained otherwise. Maybe the worm's knowledge of mind supersedes Maskmaker's. Or maybe Team Cherry will reveal another way to conceal one's true form in Silksong, when it comes out in 20 years.
Faces I grant to all who would request, not task for I, but aid, gift to a world deserving.
His workshop is in Deep Nest, no one wants to go there. Except Zote, but you know, Zote. Why live here? The Hollow Knight and White Lady are imprisoned in spheres. Maskmaker's in a sphere, he must be in prison too. Why does he keep making masks for seemingly no recipients? Why aren't we shown any seals of binding trapping him? Does his insider knowledge of shades in the abyss the Pale King wanted no one to know about have any significance? I don't know. And actually that last part might have some standing, but still, I don't know. In the end, like Maskmaker says,
truth in Hollownest is always buried deep. How many layers will it pry through?
I made it to bedrock. Are you expecting me to dig deeper?
The Dreamers. 3 bugs who voluntarily entered an endless sleep, whose lives act as seals in the Black Egg's entrance. We have Hera the Beast, Queen of Deep Nest, Monamon the Teacher, Archivist of Knowledge, and Lurian, who stalks people or
something, but basically they all got something in common. It's the masks, baby! Throughout the game, we never see their true faces, and that's because their masks fully conceal their true forms. The best proof of this is the sealed siblings ending, when Hornet becomes a seal for the Black Egg. Since her face is meant to be the best representation of her, these masks are the best representations of the Dreamers, not their true faces beneath. So to clarify, it's the Dreamers that act as seals on the Black Egg, not just the masks. Also, this means Hornet has a face. Pretty cool. But you know who doesn't have a face? Monomon. While unmasked, her original mind should have been expanded by the Pale King's beacon, allowing us to witness her true form. Instead, her upper body is opaque, and dream nailing does nothing. Could be game logic fogging up the glass before inconspicuously clearing the moment her mask is returned. But with the rules in place, nothing should be stopping us from accessing her unmasked mind, leading me to believe game logic isn't the reason her true form evades our eyes. Let's confirm. Throughout the events of Hollow Knight, where is Monomon's mind contained? If you didn't know, Quirrel dons Monomon's mask every time he's seen up until he finally returns it to her. During this time, Quirrel is being called to the teacher's archive by Monomon herself. As he states,
"Who are you that leads me to this place?
and
Did she call you too then? I realize it's no coincidence we arrived together."
for context, Quirrel was given Monomon's mask as an extra layer of protection for her seal on the Black Egg. So if her mind really is contained within her mask, Quirrel wearing it would explain how she guides him. However, Quirrel thinks Monomon called the knight as well, and insinuates she's calling out to him from within the teacher's archives. This means her mind is in her body? Therein lies the problem. If that really is so, why can't we access her mind before her mask is returned? Dream nailing masked Monomon teleports you to the dream realm. Jumping to this island, we see Monomon? This version has actual dream nail dialogue, with thoughts in line with her present day intentions, meaning this thing contains Monomon's actual mind, or is Monomon's mind. Hold up, so dream nailing real world Monomon doesn't let us read her mind. It teleports us to the dream realm where her mind is being contained. Okay, to summarize everything I'm about to say, Monomon's mask connects her body to her mind in the dream realm. But to explain why, bear with me. We know Monomon communicated with the knight through her spirit form, and called Quirrel to the teacher's archives while unmasked, proving she doesn't need to wear it for her mind to function in the dream world. But how can her consciousness and body function properly when detached by different planes of existence? Well, her body is non-existent from the waist up before Quirrel returns her mask, and afterwards, he does say,
"Do not hesitate. The choice to reform was hers, not mine."
I'm definitely dipping into speculation here, but as Maskmaker says, she lacks existence without a proper connection to her mind, or at the very least, her body suffers for it. In the dream realm, the physical representation of her mind is masked, no true form revealed, meaning without a doubt, this is the mind granted by her mask. So logically, to reach her mind in the dream realm, her body must be masked for us to properly dream nail. Why her mind is here, in the Radiant's boss room of all places, well, that's for a whole nother video. But back on topic, when destroying the mind provided by a dreamer's mask, the physical body connected to it follows suit. However, when the knight wakes up, no trace of any dreamer remains. This is because, as we know with unmasked Monomon, dreamers have no true form to fall back on when the masked form is destroyed. There's definitely a lot more I could touch on about dreamers, so if you want to read all that, I threw my thoughts into the pinned comment below. But again, TLDR, a dreamer's mask connects their body to their mind in the dream realm. On to the Godseekers! Within the desolate wastes beyond Hollownest exists the Land of Storms. Once ruled by the gods of thunder and rain, the Godseekers were a group of bugs who happily worshipped these powerful beings. Basically, they're minions from Despicable Me, But instead of making you cringe, they call you cringe. At some point, these gods abandoned their loyal followers, forcing them to set off across the desolate wastes in search of other powerful beings. In this trek, the Godseekers began to sense Hallownest's beacon, leading them to the kingdom, and the rest is history. However, Godseekers, plural, isn't really correct, since we only physically meet one. This is the Godseeker, and her mind acts as a vessel for the minds of all Godseekers. Her mind is so powerful, it manifested an entire world of dream, known as Godhome. Here, the minds of all the Godseekers reside. Their main goal is to attune Godhome to the God of Gods, who they assume is the Radiance. But attunement, what is that? When the knight defeats real-world bosses, or gods, their essence becomes connected to Godhome, bringing the collective mind closer to the Radiance. And you know how all of this is possible? One single mask. Yeah, limitations? All but a foreign concept. On how it works, to quote the weathered mask, the design suggests the wearer's thoughts are focused through the crest, located on the forehead. It's possible this explains how they attune. With a focus of thought, they can detect the resonance of powerful beings. Fun fact, when looking back at the Land of Storms, we see piled on the floor many masks which may have been worn by bugs currently residing within the Godseeker. That means she knew how to store multiple minds within herself without wearing multiple masks. Or these masks are the remains of dead Godseekers, but no husks are nearby, so I'm leaning towards the former. Another fun fact, the Godseeker we talk to in the real world is much different from the smaller sized version we see in Godhome, as that one berates us for attempting to complete the Pantheons, while her real world counterpart encourages us to continue seeking out bosses. The collective mind this version houses probably explains the difference in personality. So to summarize, Godseeker masks are capable of extremely incredible feats. Regular masks fail to reach. And it just occurred to me the Godseekers aren't the only foreigners to wear masks. How the heck with 2 C's did I forget about? A circusy caravan of spookily masked bugs. The Grimm Troupe has arrived in Hallownest to disrupt Elderbug's peaceful lifestyle. Those monsters. Its general members all wear masks with 2 lines prominently striking through each eye. However, Confessor Jiji claims there's more to it, explaining,
"They favor projection over truth, shrouding themselves in forms dreamed."
This makes sense, since the troupe is enslaved to the will of a higher being known as the Nightmare Heart, a creature made of nightmare, a type of dream essence. As I'll discuss shortly, in addition to concealing true form, these masks may chain the minds of the troupe to the Nightmare Heart, allowing for this enslavement. The higher being is kept alive within its vessel, Grimm, who exists through a never-ending ritual of death and rebirth. You'd assume this white area of the troupe master's face is a mask, but as Grimmchild shifts into adolescence, the white area grows in size. Unless Grimm sneaks his younger self a new mask every time they meet, I think Grimm's face isn't concealed by anything. But how about the notable troupe members who indeed wear masks? Brum the Music Man. He plays the accordion, adds some cool ambiance to Dirtmouth, and then will banish his own troupe from Hallownest given the opportunity. After this act, Brum's true form is revealed, Nim. This character has no recollection of his previous life and happily plays an alternate rendition of Dirtmouth's theme. Nim is our best example of what occurs when a foreigner takes off their mask in Hallownest. A bug's true form is revealed, the once locked away mind is expanded, and the personality and memories connected to the mask are destroyed. However, I could be incorrect. Maybe Brum's mask connects his mind to the Nightmare Heart, and by removing it, he's simply severing that connection and his memories with it. Whatever the case, Brum's sacrifice eternalized his dying ambition into charm form. Showing it to Nim, he notes how it reminds him of someone he can't remember, who we know to be his past self. I'd like to think Brum's mask literally turned into Carefree Melody, as we see a smaller version of it on the charm. But if it didn't, it still serves as a fitting memorial to his heroic sacrifice. Hold back the tears. Hold on. Let me think of a character I really hate. Oh right, Divine. Everyone hates Divine. She steals your charms, she steals your geo, she steals your pride, all while keeping that smug, stupid grin. But hold on a second. We can see that smug, stupid grin. We can see Divine's face. This shouldn't be possible. Well, her mask most likely isn't functional. At least its purpose isn't to conceal her true self. Since she can willingly stay in Hallownest after the Grimm Troupe leaves, Divine probably isn't enslaved to the Nightmare Heart either. Instead, she willingly follows the Nightmare Circus in its endless expedition. Her intentions for doing this are unknown. Maybe it's to meet more bugs like Leg Eater. Or maybe it's to explore places we can't. Like Farloom. Just another reason to hate Divine, huh? If I were to pull up WatchMojo.com's infamous top 10 saddest anime deaths, I'm pretty sure Quirrel would rank at least number 1. His sudden disappearance really was a punch in the gut, but thinking back on it, a fitting end to his tale. Once assistant to Monomon the teacher, he helped protect her seal on the Black Egg by transporting her mask past the bounds of Hallownest. In doing so, he relinquished all memories of his past life, yet as we see in the Quirrel comic, retained higher intelligence, a trait foreign to most bugs who roam the desolate wastes. As we know, Monomon regretted her decision in becoming a seal, and called her assistant back to the kingdom. Mistaking this for a call to adventure, Quirrel travels to Hallownest and explores the Dead Kingdom. So then, how did Quirrel retain intelligence outside of Hallownest? Most obvious guess? The mask he wears protected his mind. We know bugs who conceal their true forms behind them can safely leave Hallownest, as the mind and focus they provide are similar to that of the Pale King's beacon. As for Quirrel's memory loss, let's look back to a quote from Maskmaker.
To change a face, to conceal it fully with another. A powerful protection, that is, but one with sad consequence. The original mind is destroyed, though those of striking may still retain a sliver of that concealed self.
This makes sense. To become a new person, you must forget your past life. However, not all of Quirrel's memories are lost. Small bits and pieces will sometimes resurface, like remembering of the nailsmith, and of the presence that sleeps in the Lake of Un, aka slivers of Quirrel's concealed self. With that, we have our answer. Quirrel used Monomon's mask to conceal his true form, allowing him to leave Hallownest with retained intelligence. Wait. Why doesn't the mask cover Quirrel's face? It needs to be doing that to conceal his true form. Oh, what am I saying? Bugs can take off their masks in Hallownest. Maybe Quirrel just followed suit. Nope, it wasn't covering his face in the desolate waste either. Frick! With 2 C's. Team Cherry. It was all there. The lore fit perfectly as an example of Maskmaker's quote. But no, you just had to not cover his face. Well, the logical explanation's a no-go. Time to use speculation. In the Quirrel comic, Hornet attacks Quirrel's mask and it goes and blows her away. Not sure if the mask meant to protect itself or its wearer, but it looks like it has etched into it a seal of binding, aka a spell of protection. So that's our best explanation for how Quirrel retained intelligence. The Knight is probably our best example of a bug who, similar to Quirrel, traversed the desolate wastes and returned to Hallownest. As Hornet comments, its resilience to survive is born of 2 voids, its literal void insides and the metaphorical void of lost memories. Originally, I thought this amnesia was caused by the mind's shrinkage from leaving the kingdom, because smaller brain, smaller long-term memory retention. However, Quirrel proves otherwise, as his memories were taken by Hallownest Beacon, even though Monomon's mask kept his mind expanded. Since memories in the game are highly connected to dream essence, my only guess is Quirrel's mind is connected to soul essence, which the mask looks to be made of, so can protect his intelligence easily. However, Quirrel's memory is connected to dream essence, which the mask definitely isn't made of and cannot protect. Or Team Jerry could have said, mask give Quirrel new personality, all traces of past self go bye-bye, and have his face concealed only in the desolate wastes, and it would have been that easy. But nope, now we have to worry about mind and memory being detached from one another, which I don't want to touch on right now because this is a mask lore video. So let's settle down and move on. I started this segment explaining why Quirrel was given a fitting end to his tale. Let's finish that. When Quirrel arrives at Hallownest, he considers himself a humble adventurer, but little does he know of his very important past. During your periodic encounters, we witness our friend explore this kingdom with an air of positivity, gradually growing the bonds between both bugs. It isn't until meeting him within the teacher's archive does he finally understand his purpose, returning the mask to Monomon. However, the soul within it acted as a form of life support, keeping him in tip-top shape against Umu, before his knees buckled and voice rasped immediately after losing it. He's unknowingly lived 2 lifetimes. His body's paying for it. Using his remaining energy, Quirrel reaches the Blue Lake, the final sight he wished to witness before leaving Hallownest.
To live an age, yet remember so little. Perhaps I should be thankful? All tragedy erased. I see only wonders.
Here, you spend your final moments together, in a calm, serene silence.